Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, in this video, we're going to talk about 3 different builds to build your enemy max HP nuking champions. Some of the biggest hitters in the game, some of the most fun, exciting champions in the game. And actually, believe it or not, the builds change as you develop. As your account develops and you understand more about the game, as your gear sets start to grow, you're able to change the builds to be more in tune with exactly what you want to do. So the first build I'm going to show is actually the build that 99% of you probably watching this will use and need to try and adapt to do. And then we'll go into a couple of niche builds which are probably more geared towards endgame accounts. So the first one then we're going to show you is a Coldheart build. Doesn't matter what the champion is, by the way. Doesn't matter. And it doesn't matter if you don't have gear as good as mine. Understand the kind of psychology of it, or what are you trying to achieve. Okay, so we're picking out a Coldheart here for the first build. For the 99% of you, these are the rules. Stats over sets. Yeah, so the fact that I've got a mixed set here, even if the rest of it was mixed gear, it wouldn't matter. Stats over sets. Get yourself to the right numbers that you need before you start to worry about combining the best sets in the game together. The second rule is enemy max HP is where your damage comes from. So don't get confused with thinking that you actually need to do a load of damage through physical hits. Okay, don't worry about it. Enemy max HP is going to be where your damage comes from. And guess what? That will just scale as you go through the game. The further you're through the game, the higher the enemy max HP becomes because the mobs get more health and therefore the harder your hits become. If you add an extra 500 attack into your build, it really will do a minuscule amount different compared to just being able to stay alive. So tip number 2 on the kind of generic build is HP percent chest, keep your champion alive. Yeah, so focus more on health than on attack. So let's just go through the kind of the fundamentals here. Get your champion to the right speed. I'd imagine for most people watching the video, it's going to be somewhere close to around 170, 180 speed. Yeah, it doesn't need to be super high for an enemy max HP. The rest of your champions are going before this champion. They're going to set it up with things like drop defense and weaken so that your enemy max HP can do as much damage as possible. For a Coldheart, you actually only need to get to 70% crit rate. But for whatever champion you're using, you want them crit capped. And what that means is normally it's 100%, but particularly for a Coldheart, you actually only need 70. The reason why mine are over here is because I'm looking at level 25 stuff. And my builds fit what I need them to do. But you need crit capped, and then you want to punch health. You want to make sure your speed is correct. If they've got abilities that you actually want to activate as well, like a Coldheart, I do want to drop the enemy's turn meter. If it was someone like a Royal Guard or a Husk, I don't really care about accuracy. But for a Coldheart, I do want the accuracy to be where I need it to be. And then once you've got those things ticked, you get as much crit damage as you can. Yeah, you just pile in the crit damage. So you're looking for pieces with kind of like multiple rolls in things like speed, crit rate, crit damage, HP percent. Yeah, generally that's what you'll see across my pieces. I try and get a lot of crit rate on other items so that I can wear crit damage gloves. Yeah, and then the crit damage gloves are going to have rolls like crit rate and for this particular build, accuracy as well. You'll see I've got an HP chest for accuracy, crit rate, and speed boots because I wanted them fast. You could get away with not having speed boots, but generally for these builds, you're going to be using speed boots. Things like HP percent rings HP with HP percent on the ring. Generally, you would go crit damage on the amulet. I don't need any more crit damage in this build because I am running level 25 stuff. But generally, you'd be looking for a piece that's got crit damage as the kind of main stat, like this one here behind my head, with the kind of substats that you're looking for. And then normally, if you're looking to land abilities, you're going accuracy on the banner. If it's someone that doesn't need to land abilities, you'd probably go HP with speed on the banner. And in terms of masteries, again, it depends what you're looking to do. Earlier game stuff, you're going to be wanting to go into flawless execution and get yourself consistent damage. So you're going to want to be going for a damage offensive tree with flawless execution. Again, if you're looking to land abilities, you probably want to be going down this accuracy tree, getting more stats from things like Law of Steel and perhaps taking Evil Eye. When you get past level 20 stuff, you tend to switch out into War Master or specifically for a Coldheart, you might choose to go Giant Slayer, depends on how you're using her. Because I know that I'm using mine for predominantly the big hits and the A2, I'm actually on War Master. But if you're going to use a lot more A1s, you would go Giant Slayer. But that's for level 21 to 25 type of content. Okay, so just remember the fundamentals here. Speed to where it needs to be, accuracy where you need it to get to. Make sure you've got a higher amount of HP, forget about the attack, crit cap, and crit damage. That's what you're looking for in your nukes. As you then develop your account on, you might decide that actually I want to do damage with my hits as well. So this build here with a Royal Guard is kind of like Royal Guard 2.0, and his role is actually really specific for me. He does finite 25, which means he's also the positive affinity. So I can really hone my build in for a particular fight. And with that fight, I know that I only need 85% crit rate to crit cap, because you get 15% additional crit rate advantage if you're the strong affinity. Yeah, so if you're looking for one particular fight, look for people that have got the affinity advantage, because you only need 85% crit rate. And then you're looking for things like a Savage set, if you're looking to physically just do more damage with your hits. And you're looking for crit cap, less interested in HP because I know my team's going to blow up the waves. So I focus a lot more on attack, crit damage, and speed and accuracy to where I need it to be again. So I'm less focused on HP percent on this more endgame build, because I'm never going to take a hit. I'm literally never taking a hit with this champion. And then I guess when you move on to kind of stuff like Hydra and some of the kind of high level Doom Tower stuff, you might find that you switch again and you go into this type of build, which is a Reflex build. And honestly, this can be used if you've got decent Reflex gear. Remember, stats over sets. If you've got crap Reflex gear, don't put someone in it. If you've got decent Reflex gear, you can actually start using it a lot earlier in the game. And the reason why it's so good is because you get the chance to unlock your enemy max HP skills again faster. Okay, so you tend to turn off other abilities like the A3 here on a Royal Guard, and I just want to cool down the A2 as often as I can. So Reflex gear on a enemy max HP champion is really good. Now remember again, crit capping is really important. So I'm using this as a positive affinity Royal Guard. If I was to show you my Husk, who is basically just built for Hydra. This the one, yeah. My Husk, I'm not guaranteed any sort of affinity for, so he will be coming in with bang on, or as close as I can get it to 100% crit rate. I'm looking for the right speed for whatever I'm doing. Do I need accuracy? Yes or no? In this instance, no. And then I'm going for as much crit damage as I can get. In something like a Hydra build, again, very endgame, I almost go back to my roots of I want a tankier build. So I don't care about attack. Husk doesn't really care about attack anyway, but I go higher HP, the right speed, crit cap, and as much crit damage as I can get. But Reflex just cools down that ability that I want to cool down really quick. And it kind of becomes, I'd say, one of the best in class sets for an enemy max HP champion when you've got the gear to do it. But always remember, stats over sets. And if we were looking at kind of stats here, multiple crit rate rolls, crit rate with speed, crit rate and crit damage on the gloves if you can do it with some crit rate and speed. And then in this one, we've done HP percent, speed and crit rate, speed on the boots, multiple crit rate rolls. This kind of solidifies what I was saying earlier. This is only being worn because it is a refresh banner. Yeah, so the attack isn't particularly important to me, but I want that RNG chance to get my enemy max HP skill back as soon as I can. The refresh gear becomes really valuable on enemy max HP champions. got crit damage on the amulet here, and then a defensive style ring, whether it be HP or defense, depends on the build that you need. In someone like a Husk here, again, this kind of flows into a Hydra hit. So I've actually gone Flawless Execution as my final mastery. I could go War Master. It's pretty similar damage levels, I think, actually, between the two. But I'm basically looking for damage masteries, which will enable me to do as much damage in my physical hits as I can. So there you go, guys. 3 different ways to build out enemy max HP nukers. Most of you will go with the first one, which is just a straight up crit cap, crit damage, plenty of health to stay alive, good speed, and enough accuracy if you need to do your job. I've been Hell Hades. I will see you later.